Today on General Hospital, Chase tells Brooklyn that Nina saw Ned's fall, Tracy conspires with someone to get information on the Deceptor, and Lucy suspects something is going on with Martin. Chase and Brooklyn return to the Quartermain patio after a run. Brooklyn calls the exercise a good idea, as for a moment she forgot her dad doesn't know who she is. In the kitchen, Olivia laments about Ned to Tracy. Tracy says they have to hope he comes to his senses soon. Olivia departs and Chase and Brooklyn enter. Brooklyn asks if there is news on her dad. Tracy says as far as they know he's at Sunny's, and Olivia went over there to take him clothes and food. Brooklyn worries Olivia's going to. Tracy adds, push him away? What are the odds? Brooklyn asks why she didn't stop her. Tracy notes Olivia is his wife, and asks why she doesn't change clothes and get to work. Brooklyn explains she took the day off, and Chase defends her choice given the situation with Ned. Chase has to get back to work himself, and Tracy points out that sometimes work is the best thing for them in situations like these. Tracy excuses herself when she gets a call, and Brooklyn thanks Chase for speaking up to her grandma on her behalf. She is so thankful the surveillance footage of her dad's fall cleared Drew against Tracy's claim. Chase confesses there was someone else who witnessed the fall, Nina. Brooklyn wonders why she didn't come forward, but Chase doesn't know. On the patio, Tracy tells someone over the phone that they are partners, they aren't her boss, and promises to get them the info on the Deceptor they need. At Sunny's place, he and Nina discuss Ned when he emerges from a bedroom. He asks what he's doing here. Sunny asks if he doesn't remember him bringing him to his home last night. He does but didn't get a look around, and says this place is amazing and he hopes to have digs like this one day to come home to after a long tour. Olivia arrives with food and a bag, and Eddie says he'll go to his room. She asks him to stay. She apologizes for what happened last night, and she brought him some dessert ravioli and said he likes it, or he used to. Nina offers to put it in the fridge, and she and Sunny give them space. Olivia says she brought him some clothes, and Eddie thanks her and says he'll go change. She begs him to give her 5 minutes. Sunny and Nina return and find Olivia showing Eddie a photo book of their lives. Eddie notices a young photo of himself in rock getup. Lois stands next to him in the photo, and he can't remember her, but feels her name is on the tip of his tongue. Sunny explains Lois was his ex and manager. Eddie does remember the guitar in the photo. Olivia cries out that she can't believe all he remembers is a guitar from the 90s. Eddie decides to leave, walks off, and Sunny comforts Olivia. Nina goes after Eddie, and in the hall, he thanks her for being the only one who calls him by his name. Nina says she's sorry this is happening to him, but nobody should force him to be someone he's not. Eddie agrees and thinks maybe he should leave town. Olivia exits and runs into Nina and Eddie. She says not to worry, she's leaving. She tells Eddie that Sunny has her number if he needs her. She walks off, and Eddie comments that was rough. Nina tells him that the more he sees the Quartermains, the more he'll get used to them because there are a lot of them. Eddie says that's why he loves life on the road, the feeling of freedom and entertaining people. He notes there is nothing keeping him here. Back in the Quartermain kitchen, Tracy returns and Chase gets going. Tracy pushes Brooklyn to get to work, but she wonders why Tracy is more worried about deception than her son. Tracy insists she's not. Olivia enters as Brooklyn is telling Tracy they need to remind her dad of who he is. Olivia advises it won't work as Ned doesn't think of them as his family, but as strangers. She had no luck jogging his memory and thought looking through photos would trigger something. Brooklyn urges they can't give up. Olivia won't give up, but they have to figure out a new tactic. Olivia walks out, and Tracy points out to Brooklyn that there is no reason she can't get back to work now. At Laura's, Spencer and Esme both tell Laura they feel this trip to Chechnya is too dangerous, and they need her here. She promises she has arranged for backup, and she is confident they'll get along for Ace's sake. Spencer heads to get coffee as both he and Esme were up all night. Laura knows that was because they don't trust one another to take care of Ace, and she advises Esme that she doesn't have to take care of Ace alone, and that she can count on Spencer. Martin and Lucy arrive, and Laura explains to Spencer and Esme that has asked Martin to be on call should they need him. Spencer asks Martin if he's even held a baby before. Lucy scolds Spencer for being rude as Martin has many talents, including helping her with products at Deception. Martin hushes Lucy and asks where Kevin is. Laura explains he's wrapping things up at the hospital. Lucy inquires as to whether caring for Ace has brought Esme and Spencer closer. Esme says they both what is best for Ace. After Martin and Lucy leave, Spencer asks his grandmother privately what she said to Esme. She says the same thing she'll tell him, and that is they need to work together to take care of Ace. She advises Spencer that Esme won't disappear no matter how much he wants her to. He thinks about the evidence Victor left him. Their discussion turns back to her trip, and he says his father has done awful things, which is why he doesn't want to lose his grandmother over him. Laura promises he won't lose her. She tells him as he gets older, he'll see there are few things in life that are unforgivable. Laura says people can change if you let them. Esme listens from the stairs. Later Laura's driver arrives, and Esme wishes she wasn't leaving. They embrace and Laura tells her that she'll be fine and not to be afraid to let people in. Spencer insists on walking his grandmother out. Laura asks him to be civil to Esme. He says she can count on him and looks at the lockbox key. After Spencer returns, Esme tells him that she's willing to work with him for Ace's sake. He agrees. At the Metro Court pool, Dex checks in with Joss while Trina gets them drinks. Joss hates what her mom is going through with Drew. Trina returns and hears Joss and knows the feeling. Trina asks Dex how long he's been in town and how he and Joss met. Dex and Joss are upfront with her about Dex working for Sunny. Dex leaves the young ladies, and Trina says Joss seems happy and asks if she's okay with Dex working for Sunny. Joss says she trusts Dex. Trina gets that as she sees Spencer in a way nobody else does, just like Joss sees Dex. Joss asks her, "Do tell." Trina informs her about Victor's falsified evidence against Esme. Joss thinks they should use it, even if it's false because she committed the crimes. Trina disagrees with using it, but admits Spencer initially felt the same as Joss. However, Trina says she convinced him otherwise and Spencer destroyed the evidence. Joss has her doubts Spencer did so, but Trina insists it was his idea. Martin and Lucy appear and grab a table. He senses tension between them ever since their discussion about marriage. She says this is about him shutting her down earlier when she praised his help on the Deceptor. He doesn't want her telling anyone about his help on the Deceptor anymore, so she agrees to leave his participation out. Martin has to head out, and Lucy calls someone worried that something is going on with Martin. Back at Sunny's place, Nina runs in and cries to Sunny that she couldn't stop him, and Ned's gone. Suddenly Dex enters, and he's followed by Eddie. Valentin rushes into Anna's place and asks if she's okay. She says of course she is. He leads her outside where murderer is sprayed in red paint across her door. She says it must have happened while she was sleeping, and nobody set the alarm off, so she assumes it was kids. She goes to get something to clean it up. Valentin takes photos of the door and thinks the police should be notified. Anna feels it's just a prank, but Valentin calls it a warning shot. He refuses to leave with Laura given this situation, but Anna says she can handle this on her own, and Kevin and Laura need him. Valentin expresses his love for Anna and desire to protect her. She loves he wants to protect her, and she loves him too. She admits last night she thought long and hard about the good and bad she's done, and even with her past spread out on the front page of the newspapers, the world hasn't stopped. Valentin tells her she's made up for her time at the DBX. Hannah says with people like him to remind her of that, she'll be fine. She also says if the Vandals come back, she'll be ready. Anna knows it's important he go and help Laura. Valentin agrees, so Anna tells him to go find Nicholas and then come back and find her. They kiss. At the hospital, Ava tells Austin that she's changed her mind and she can't get Pilar fired. He warns her that Mason will go to great lengths to get what he wants. She points out he can't get info out of her if she's incapacitated. Austin notes, "Who says it's your bones he'll break?" Ava vows if Mason lays one finger on Avery then she'll kill him. Austin notes nobody is off limits to Mason. Ava agrees to get rid of Pilar then. Mason enters, having been called by Austin, and asks what they have for him. Ava says she's working on it, and they have a plan, but they don't even know what he wants. Mason wants anything on Pikeman, shipping records, cargo lists, anything. Ava says they are working as hard as they can, but Mason doesn't believe so, and perhaps they need motivation. He pulls out a bag with a few of Ava's hairs in it, which were from Nicholas' body. He says it won't take the cops long to figure out that she murdered Nicholas. Austin promises they'll get him what he wants soon. Mason hopes so and exits. Austin suggests they plant drugs on Pilar to get her fired, but Ava won't do that. Austin says if they don't do something then Mason will go after Avery. Ava says she'll think of something, but first she's going to spend time with her daughter. Later in the park, Pilar rushes up to Ava and screams, "Miss Jerome, it's Avery, she's missing."